Hey guys, this is Coach T here with thepolpreneur.com, and I am currently working on a dispute. So in your business dealings, you will probably find that there are moments where there's some miscommunication that goes on, and you may not be seeing eye to eye with your guest. Now, this is not necessarily a reflection of you. However, it definitely can be if you are disorganized, not communicative, or you miss small detail, and you're not really paying attention to the thought process of the consumer or the customer. So today as I'm doing this, I want to kind of walk you through on how I do a dispute, or how I set myself up to always win a dispute. And a lot of that, honestly, is really going to come from your records. Your records need to be so well done. Your details need to be etched into each communication that you have. And when you're corresponding with the customer, okay, it's not going to be a gotcha type of deal if, they miss a detail and now they're filing a dispute and you're like, nah, you had these details. It's not going to be nothing like that. But what you're looking for is trying to avoid a situation where you are in a dispute, where the bank comes in and just snatches money out of your account unexpectedly, and now you have to spend hours and research time to find documentations, to hunt down, things that will support your claims, and then to actually meet the deadlines to dispute the dispute. So, and then that's not it, because then what happens is it goes to their bank, and then their bank decides, well, which way we're going to go with this. And it's just a circle, and now you're out of that money for a period of time, if not indefinitely. So to avoid losing disputes, you have to be able to pay attention to the detail. You want to make sure that you're carefully monitoring all interactions of the client, and that you're setting the expectation correctly, that you are looking for potential misunderstandings where someone might be getting the wrong message. You want to be very detailed. You want to dot all your I's. You want to cross all your T's. And then you want to make sure that you have copies of those documents. Because if you do not have copies of those documents, and you do not have copies of those communications, then it is almost impossible for you to ever win a dispute, even when it really wasn't your fault. So here is some of my suggestions. So I've got about 3 to 5 tips that are going to help you with disputes. So like I said, make sure that you're in very, very, very detailed. Don't get so excited about the sale that you miss actually doing the detailed work. I think that especially new entrepreneurs as you're finally starting to rank up sales and you're starting to get sales, I think we get so excited that somebody's about to buy with us, book with us, come and visit our studio, and that if we might feel a sense of pressure that if we start really line iteming, is that a word? If we start to line item the details, the scary details, no refund policy, all these things, that we might chase somebody away. But actually, you're actually building a better customer, because clients want to know these things. They want to know, if I cancel, what happens? If I'm unable to use it, what happens? If I get sick, what happens? If bad weather happens, what happens? They want to know all of these things. So you have to make sure that you are going ahead and doing your due diligence and pushing that out there first, okay? So always make sure that you are in the details, okay? Because truly the devil is in the details. So that's first, okay? So always be very detailed and take the time with courage to address, the potentiality of something going wrong. So that's first. Number 2, always make sure that your communications go through. Make sure that you're looking for acknowledgement. You want to make sure that the client on the other side of this, of your policies and procedures and the terms and conditions of the sale, understand what they are signing to. So give them, an out. Say, hey, do you have any questions about these terms? Outline them very easily to read. Don't stick them in a lot of jargon. And then ask for acknowledgement. Hey, did you understand this? Did you receive it? That's something that's super important. The third thing is going to be, make sure that you get signatures. Electronic signatures are great. Electronic signatures are great. So try to find yourself a software that allows the client to actually sign, and that way you have an electronic signature and potentially should be an IP address on file. That is amazing, okay? You also want to make sure that you disclose your refund policy or your rescheduling policy ahead of time before they sign. So they need to know this before. A lot of businesses do not know this, but you need to know this before you make that transaction for you to be able to get to win a dispute, okay? So that is super, super, super important. And then the last thing that I'm going to say with regards to being ahead of a potential dispute is to make sure that you document and that you streamline your communication. And why I say this, streamline communication, is try as best to avoid having casual conversations on the phone, because the phone is a dangerous place to live, especially if calls are not recorded. And then even then, if you're recording calls and you're not telling the caller that, then you can't submit that. Okay, so make sure that everything is documented in writing, and that, again, going back to a former point, you need to make sure they acknowledge it. So that is going to be creme de la creme of winning a dispute. Document, document, document. Deal with the customer in a streamlined way. So everything email or everything through text messaging, but really try to avoid doing social media business deals. Try to avoid that, because you just never know. That's a new thing in business right now, and a lot of people are doing social media business deals, and that's just a very scary place. You got people hacking stuff all over the place. I wouldn't do that. I would do a secured email, or I would do like a text message. If you get on the phone with a customer, which is great, if you want to have that kind of interaction where you're on the phone, make sure that you always follow it up with an email. As per our conversation, these were the terms of the agreement. Here is your signed agreement. Here is your signed contract. Here is your signed terms, whatever. But make sure that you document. Stay organized in your documentation, which is why I'm saying streamline the things that you are doing when it comes to reserving or booking or scheduling something with a client. If you follow these tips, the chances are, if somebody has a purchase, they don't show up for class, they don't show up for a pole party because of a fault of their own, they go to the wrong location, something goes wrong with their personal life and they're not able to make it, and they just don't want to abide by your refund policy. If you've done all these things, then the chances of you winning that dispute are way up here. If you haven't done all those things, or you cannot produce the documentation because you're super disorganized, the chances of you being out that money are way up here. So which way up here do you want to be? You want to be up here on the side where you win, because we're small business owners and we can't afford taking an unexpected hit of 100, 200, 300, or even more against our business, even though the client was actually wrong. So I hope these tips have helped. I hope that you rewind this video. I hope that you actually start implementing this. Trust me. I have won tons of disputes. There are some additional ways as a bonus that you can improve the likelihood of you winning a dispute, such as security cameras and things like that. But again, those are extra amenities and costs that a studio is required. But at bare minimum, guys, keep your communication with the client streamlined. Make sure that the devil is in the details, and so are you. And make sure that you're getting acknowledgement from the clients that they thoroughly understand the agreement with a signature that you can provide in case things go south. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Coach T here with polepreneur.com. If you love what you saw and you want more business advice from running a pole studio or running a pole brand, make sure that you subscribe to the Polepreneur YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and find us on TikTok.